Alrighty, it is time for timeline form checks. I will be breaking down the most intriguing ones. Since I have 43 submissions, I'm going to try to keep these videos fairly short, so I might even end up doing 2 different videos for this. So, all right, Charles the Hammer, how's your training going by the way? This is Lance's deadlift. Oh, you got a squat there too. That doesn't look too terribly bad. He's a little forward. His shoulders are starting a little bit forward, so he just needs to rock back in his starting position. You can see where the bar breaks off the floor. His shoulders rock back over the bar and get to the midfoot. He's starting that position. He's just starting too far forward with his hips up, and you can kind of see how he rocks back. His hips go down, his chest comes up, his shoulders go out over the bar. So starting with his hips back and his shoulders directly over the bar. Lance, again, Coast Guard. That actually looks pretty good. Is he squatting barefoot? Is that what I see? He is squatting barefoot. Man, send him some squat shoes. Jesus. In fact, the fact that he is squatting barefoot means I'm not going to look at it. Okay, Zach, this is fun. You have a pretty good little deadlift start position. To be honest, it looks pretty good. Kind of the same thing here, though, as what I was talking about with Lance above. You're starting just a little bit forward. So you can see how your knees are in front of your arms. That tells me that your hips are a little bit too low. And your shoulders, ideally, we want the middle of the scapula to be right directly over the bar. And you can kind of see how your shoulders are well forward of it. So a couple of different things that need to happen here in your start position every rep. Hips need to come up slightly and you need to be rocked back. So push your butt back a little bit and your shoulders, the middle of the scapula should be directly over the bar. If you do like a side view, you'll kind of see like the crease of your armpit and like your lat right here will be directly over the bar instead of forward. Because you can see here, when you actually break the bar off the floor, your shoulders walk back and your hips raise up. The next thing, get a belt. 5-pound jumps, like I told you on the timeline, every week. Get a belt. Drink a bunch of milk. Maximize your strength potential. Get fat and pink. We got a baby here. All right, Karthik, 181 kilograms. I have a natural round in my upper back. Hey, dude, I do too. Kyphosis. Your hips are too low. It's fun. I love this angle because you watch the hips raise and your shoulders rock forward to the bar into the standard pulling position, and then it comes off the ground. So you just need to start. Oh, geez, okay. So you just need to start with your hips a little bit higher. And then when you're going to pull, don't try to stand up so early. Stay bent over. I bet on this rep, if you pull a second one, you're going to end up, nope, your hips are back down too low. So start your hips higher. 66-year-old intermediate, Jim Leone, 310 pounds. Holy shit, I can't believe that you loaded 310, and I can't believe you posted 310. 5 pounds away from 3 plates. I don't want to assume any type of sexual orientation, but you know what doing 310 is. 66 years old, though, getting in there, getting after it. Depth looks pretty good, man. I think you could get your knees apart a little bit more on the bottom. It'll make depth more consistent for you. I have a feeling when it gets really heavy, just kind of judging on your mechanics, depth is a bit of an issue. So drive those knees out, get a little bit more of a bounce. Second thing, on the way up, stay in your hips. Don't try to stand up too soon. Right here, you see how you're starting to raise your chest? You got to stay bent over and drive your hips up all the way to the top. All right. Oh boy, Eric, big boy, kind of a real big boy. I know both my forms are bad, especially squat, so I'm open to correction. My stomach gets in the way in the squat. I'm working to lose the weight in these videos. Deadlift 145, 105 in the squat. Yeah, I think. Did I comment under here? Hell yeah. Okay. The weight will be good. So one thing that helps for big guys in deadlifts is doing what's called a roll-in method. When you got a belly in the way, you can, and it's hard to set your back and get tight. because there's just so much squeezing and compression going on in there. But what you can do is actually start the bar forward. So like reached out with your arms, take your air in, and then roll the bar back towards your shins as you get tight and squeeze your chest up and then push. And it'll lead to a lot better bar position. It'll lead to a lot smoother bar path up over the midfoot. Man, don't squat in ultras. Holy shit. Or Brooks or whatever the fuck those are. Depth is actually not all that bad. You got some pretty big thighs and a lot of stuff in the way here. So the big thing for you is like get the weight off, keep squatting, sit your hips back a little bit more. You're getting forward on your toes. Some of that's these shoes and stuff. Um, yeah, man, keep getting after it. Recent deadlift. This is the worst. Like this is the worst angle to see a deadlift from. No correction needed there outside of a soft lockout. Old man hex plates. Yeah, if you lift, this is a good example of if you lift somewhere with hex plates, go find a different gym. You can't try to get strong with fucking hex plates and bullshit equipment. And the one thing that's always for sure with a place that has hex plates is that the barbell is going to be shitty and smooth too. And it's probably you're not just not equipped enough for you to lift heavy stuff. So, okay, this is a good film video. Med Pros. How much is this? That must be 385. I thought that looked pretty good. I would have you sit back and get your knees out a little bit more, as the knees are kind of traveling forward and jabbing a little bit at the bottom. So sit back, hold your knees tight, stop them right past the toes, and then let your hips do the job to sit down and back into the hole. Stefan Kansky. Carry on. Maybe a little bit wider of a stance to get some more muscle mass involved. You're also driving through your heels, so keep your weight centered over the middle of the foot. But other than that, pretty good. Mike. This is kind of a slick setup. Communist numbers. Keep the chin down. You can see you're raising your chin up and your upper back is loose. So something that you should really focus on is getting your upper back tighter. Puff your chest up hard towards your chin. Try to spread your chest apart so hard it's like you're trying to rip it off of your sternum. That'll make the upper back set into a little bit more extension. You just look a little round and a little soft in the upper back, and that'll lead to a lot more efficiency. Ooh, big boy. Big boy with a Mars bar. Southern B-ball. Ooh, okay. Problem with the Mars bar is, you end up um running into your thighs with your arms. I've found that if you really like pinch your elbows together and then push the bar forward with your hands, that helps mitigate that quite a bit. I think these look pretty good. Keep your head down on the way up though. If somebody could tell me how to make sure that's muted all the time, that would be sweet. Do I just have to do this? Hopefully that didn't mute you though. Whatever. Technology is not my middle name. These look pretty good. I see you got the slant and stuff. Nicola. Whoa, 280 kilograms. Fuck yeah. I don't love your head position. I think your upper back is loose. So again, spread the chest apart. Puff it up towards your chin. Keep your head down. I'd adjust your gaze down on the floor a little bit. You'll get better hip drive that way. Sumo is cool. Got to lock that out better. Little tardy to the party, but would love chest too low. Squats. This is pretty classic high bar shit. Get some squat shoes. Yeah, your shoulders need to come back a little bit over the bar, and then your hips. Actually, towards the end there, that looks pretty good. But a really good cue for the chest and setting the back end extension is Not just like lift the chest up, but to actively try to rotate, rip your chest up between your arms. So think less about like squeezing. It looks like you're kind of squeezing with your shoulders and stuff, and think more about lifting your chest up right between your arms. All right, Andy, 50 NLP since June, 5'9", 195, 5 pounds away from being in the cards to maximize your strength potential. Squats 365, bench 3 by 5, deadlift 320. Just purchase chalk. Press. Howdy doody. A little high, sir. Yeah, we got to get you way down. Peel some weight off the bar. Got to get you down a little bit lower. Peel some weight off the bar and get the knees out. You can kind of see how they're tracking to the inside of your feet, and your weight is going towards your toes to the inside of your feet. Sit back, shove your thighs out really, really hard, and take some weight off the bar until you're down to depth. We need another like 4 inches of depth there. Deadliftersons. You know, what happened here? Okay. Alternate grip. I don't love your shin. I like to have a more vertical shin. You can see how it's kind of inclined on the way in. So bring your stance in a little bit closer together. And what are you doing alternating grip? Oh, okay, you need some chalk. I'd consider, some straps. Learn the hook grip too. So a little bit narrower stance. And then I would just refer back to the 5-step deadlift setup on setting your back and going through all those steps. Okay. All right. Whoa, the bar swung away on you. Your weight was a little bit forward. Let me see that again. This is a really good case of you starting with the bar way forward, bumping it off with your legs, and then watch it has to swing back to your legs, and then it goes up. So just start the bar over the midfoot. Rob Hill would love a deadlift form check. Holy shit. Don't try to squat the bar, man. You need to learn about the standard pulling position. We're not squatting the deadlift. You are pulling this bar with the bar like over your toes, with your hips way low, your knees way forward. What needs to happen is the bar needs to be directly over the midfoot. Your knees need to be back. Your hips need to be up. Look up the 5-step deadlift setup process and the standard pulling position, and you'll make so much more progress. 1 max and 1 for reps. 235. I'm not looking at a belt squat, and I'm not looking at a deadlift in running shoes. Hips are too low. Keep your hips high. Bring your grip in a little bit. Squeeze your chest up harder, and get rid of those fucking running shoes when you're deadlifting. Coming back from a long layoff, marriage move, and losing my chalk. Not that the deadlift was ever amazing, but it's the internet, so I have to make excuses. Definitely open to aggressive critique. I would honestly, this isn't too bad. Be a little bit more aggressive in setting your back. And when you put the bar down at the bottom, when you take your air in, allow your back to be a little bit more loose. I would get a belt on too. Overall, this is not all that bad. And you got some room to work here. Pulling position looks pretty good. You just need to lock it out harder, get a belt, and then be a little bit more loose at the bottom. Let your back relax. Take a big breath, squeeze your chest up as hard as you can, and then push. You just need to get a little bit more tightness there. Big boy again. That was actually pretty good. I just keep your eyes on the same spot on the floor 10, 15 feet out in front of you. Bars starting too far forward of the midfoot. Watch, it's going to walk back before it goes up. And stop fucking around. Just get down there, take your grip, get a big breath of air, and push. Watch the bar, man. That bar is like 4 inches forward of your shins. Feel the steel. The best to do is start the bar over the midfoot, 1 inch from your shins, touch your shins to it in that step, push the floor, and keep the bar on your legs the whole way. And your deadlifts are going to feel so much lighter when you do that. Louis Howell. Louis, that rep looks good. You could play with a little bit wider stance, but other than that, add 5. Woo, boy. Take a wider stance. Keep that chin down on the way up, man. Looking up to go up is not the way we want to do it. Keep your chin down. I put your eyes down like I'm on the wall right here. I mean, all right, I'm not waiting to watch this. Vince. Oh, dude. I think you could get your upper back tighter. If you try like a low bar, you could put the bar down a little bit lower and get the arms a little bit tighter. The second thing is I'd bring your stance in a little bit or a lot of it, and that'll make the depth easier. So like if you had your heels where my cursor is here, just bring your stance in a little bit more, and I think you'd be more efficient that way. Okay, DJ in the MA. What are you? Is this a Boston gym? MA? Starting strength devotee. I'm sorry that happened to you. Are you pausing on purpose? I'm assuming you're pausing on purpose. That looks pretty good. Getting a little soft in the upper back, though. Keep that chest spread apart. Elbows, try to touch your elbows together behind you. Other than that, that looks pretty good for a set of pause squats. Trap bar, no. Bad angle. This is another case, Espo, of your hips being too low. You can kind of see the difference. You start tugging, your hips go up, your knees go back, the bar walks back to the midfoot, your shoulders go out over the bar. There's the standard pulling position. And then you go. So just start with your hips up higher, knees pulled back, set your back hard and push. There shouldn't be any slot between when you start tugging and when the bar actually comes up. D2. Ooh, yeah, baby. Oh, man. That's pretty good. The one thing, though, don't drop the bar. All right, 3 plates, starting to build your base. This is my last one. It's been 20 minutes. Dude, I would get a belt on, man. And then in this position, you don't have to bow your legs way back. I find that this tires people out. Shins, pretty good. Weight starting back on your heels a little bit. It's one thing too. I should see a more distinct like cadence between each one. So it should go shins, pause, air, chest up, pause, go. Versus you're kind of you do a good job on the first one, and then you start rolling through the reps a little bit. I'd put the bar down, allow yourself to, get the bar back over the midfoot, take a big breath, squeeze your chest up as hard as you can, and then push instead of rolling into it rep to rep. See how the back extension gets worse as the set progresses? It'll make a more consistent back angle. So when you go to squeeze your chest up, every single rep, it's chest up, go. Put the bar down. Big breath of air. Squeeze the chest up, pause, go. Put the bar back down. Make sure the bar's midfoot. Make sure the shins are on the bar. Big breath of air. Squeeze the chest up, go. So a lot of hips too low. A lot of people need to set their backs harder. Overall, I'll chat with you guys next